What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and whoa, a Sunday video. That's right. We've got to talk about the rally against censorship, which featured one particular speaker named Kyle. It seems like every chance this kid has to try and generate. Here's one thing that people actually don't know, and I know this because I've talked to Kyle directly about it. He still has immense legal fees, including a lot of these civil cases that are going on. And so the kid doesn't really have a lot of money. And so these speaking engagements and things of that give him an opportunity to try and raise some money to continue to fight against these pesky lawsuits that he should win. But I think the people that are bringing them are happy to just drain him financially. And they know they're not going to win, but they're happy to just keep him tied up in court forever. Like people have forgotten that about Kyle, which is unfortunate. But he had this rally against censorship. Then in Texas, by the way, the bastion of freedom, pew-pews and pickup trucks, right? Well, it all fell apart. We're going to get into that after a super quick word from this video sponsor. Huge shout out to, that's right, it's your boy, Raid Shadow Legends, for sponsoring this video. Fun fact. There are 7.5 billion humans in the world that could be playing Raid Shadow Legends right now, so why waste any time? Raid Shadow Legends is what happens if you crossed a blockbuster movie with a real AAA game and then squeeze it onto a mobile phone. It's genuinely revolutionary. Let's talk champions. Raid's got nearly 700 of them and recently added the super cool new faction called Sylvan Watchers. You've got forest elves, you've got scary looking tree spirits, you've even got living rock monsters. The Sylvan Watchers basically have it all as a faction, so let's find out a little more about their story and history within the world of Teleria. Rather than building a sprawling city on the ground or in a cave, the Sylvan Watchers made their home in the Mistwood, a huge jungle in the east of Teleria. Don't expect to walk in the park if you try to visit the Sylvan Watchers, though. If the beasts don't get you, the Sylvan will probably will for trespassing on their land. And to kick off the new year, there's a fresh raid update with a bunch of new features, including a new season of the Forge Pass. For all your artificers, the Polarium Points program, where you can earn in-game goodies, including a legendary champion and more. Speaking of champions, there's a whole batch of cool new ones coming this month, and I can't wait to try them out. In preparation of Raid's 4th anniversary later this year, this month sees the launch of a humongous 4th anniversary Titan event. This new type of event lasts for several weeks and will see you earning anniversary points by competing in special themed events. There are some truly amazing rewards up for grabs for taking part in this marathon event, so don't miss out. But wait, there's even more. For new players, you can use my link or scan the QR code right here and get a free starter pack with this cool in-game loot. And if you've been living under a rock, you may not know that MMA pro and pro wrestling megastar Ronda Rousey has made an exciting leap into the world of Raid with her very own champion. You can get Ronda by simply opening Raid on 7 days before February 20th, and that's all there is to it. To celebrate her arrival, use promo code RAIDRONDA to get a bunch of useful in-game items to help level her up. Just enter the promo code in-game and all the goodies will be sent straight to your inbox. So use the link in the description or pinned comment below and get Raid today. So what was scheduled in 11 days from now was the rally against censorship, featuring, well, Kyle Rittenhouse. He was, of course, found guilty and not guilty on all charges. A trial where he received sharply negative coverage from mainstream media. He was called all sorts of terrible things from outlets and repeated the falsehood that he illegally transported things from across state lines. All these wild things that people, they just repeated a lie about him willingly. Like nobody, like the facts of the case were wide open for the whole world to see because everything was televised. But mainstream media and liberal news outlets were 100% fine just lying about the kid. People on The View, people, nobody's on Twitter. Everybody was fine to perpetuate this lie. Well, there was this speaking convention on Thursday, January 26th. Looks like it was sponsored by Defiance Press. But you see Southern Star on here. Well, what is Southern Star? Well, it is a brewing company. Essentially, it's just a company that had a room to be rented out. Southern Star has been offering honest, traditional ale since 2007. We were the first can craft in Texas. Well, you see this pinned tweet of theirs. And by the way, they've been railing against Kyle Rittenhouse ever since. But remember now, they're apolitical, okay? A message from us at Southern Star. No more. Southern Star is an apolitical organization, but we feel that this event doesn't reflect our own values. What? Anti-censorship? So Southern Star is pro-censorship. And we could not, in good faith, continue to rent our space for an event on 126. We don't do rallies. Now, keep in mind the things that they've said here, because I'm going to, of course, point out their hypocrisy, because if the left is anything, it's hypocritical. We make beer for people who like beer. By the way, this reads exactly like they're trying to be coffee brand coffee. That's what they're trying to be. By the way, I want to let everyone know, over on coffeebrandcoffee.com, this is my coffee company, tea, cocos. A lot of these flavored teas and coffees, flavored coffees, a lot of them are coming off the website on Monday. In particular, I want you, if you haven't yet, and you want to try the cocoa, pick up a bag of the peppermint cocoa. I put it on 25% off. There's only a few bags left, and once they're gone, they're gone. So make sure you pick up some of the peppermint cocoa and maybe try some of the other hot cocos that we have. Make it with milk. But I'll leave a link in the description. Make sure you get that. Everyone loves the peppermint hot cocoa, and we're done with it, like probably this week. So make sure you get some until next Christmas. Now, you can see, of course, it got a whopping 32 likes. And then you can see, of course, Southern Star Brewing retweeting. Southern Star Brewery's CEO disputed claims that the rally against censorship featuring Kyle Rittenhouse was canceled after pressure from a woke mob or distributors. Well, you're giving a lot of press, right? You're giving a lot of interviews about this cancellation. And by the way, now remember, they went out of their way to say, oh, we're apolitical, right? We don't get involved in political causes or any of this stuff. We just want to be coffee brand coffee. Makes me want to start a brewing company. But booze comes with a whole different set of skills that you need. I certainly can consume it, but the business side of it is complex. So this pinned tweet, and of course, they limited replies after getting ruthlessly demolished. You see John Willow, maybe y'all should just move to California. Mostly political memes, right? Nothing says apolitical like canceling a First Amendment event. Nothing says apolitical like picking a side. What specifically about this event doesn't reflect your values? By the way, every one of these reply tweets are just ruthlessly ratioing them. It says authoritarian leftist. You know, again, you see this like, I had to look to find out what the event was. Thank you for not platforming these people. Anybody who talks about platforming is generally a pro-censorship loser. This seems like an apolitical decision. Shake my head. Apolitical would be hosting an event, every event you could. Again, this is another one of those things where, like, man, it's so hard to survive. It's like all these small businesses, they build up a nice customer base, and like they forget how hard it was to make it. Like, if I didn't have my YouTube channel, for example, there's 0% chance that Coffee Brand Coffee makes it, right? Or very close to zero. It's a coffee company and I don't have a captive audience to tell them why it's good. Imagine if then I now said, well, I don't want half of my customers. That's insane to me. I don't care if like the most authoritarian, nose ring, purple-haired beast of a woman is enjoying my coffee, tea, or cocoa. I want her to enjoy it. I want them to enjoy it. Because Coffee Brand Coffee makes coffee, tea, and cocoa. It doesn't make political statements. And you know what? If I had a facility that somebody wanted to rent out for some whatever, fine. But also, if you want to say we don't pick a side, if you want to say, hey, we don't host weird like politically charged events, that's actually a fine statement to have. Except, what if I told you that the Southern Star Brewing Company had recently hosted a pride party You see this mostly peaceful meme says, apolitical, huh? This on their Instagram. Southern Star Brewing. Like you can see it's co-branded, by the way, too. Pride Party, January 25th. Southern Star Brewing. Mark your calendars for another extravagant third annual. So it's the third time they've done it. Pride Party at SSBC on June 25th. We're excited to also have whatever, all these people. Like, it's so hilarious and predictable. They want to pretend, and this is where like it's really embarrassing for them. They want to pretend like they're apolitical, right? They want to pretend, oh, we're just apolitical, because they don't even have the strength of their own convictions. They want all that Republican money for their products. But when it comes to hosting an event that might be perceived as right-wing, they cancel it and pretend like they don't have a political position, but they do. They are leftists. Now, there isn't anything inherently right or left about hosting a pride event. And inherently, like, who cares? Like, if you want to host a pride event, I think that's a totally fine thing to do. But you don't get to then say, oh, well, we don't really host anything that could be considered political. Because pride events are considered inherently political. They shouldn't be, but then they started involving kids. So they got that way. For many years, pride existed just fine every year. Now it was like, oh, well, we got to have the kids there. Well, now it's a political issue. And of course, they're running all this kind of interference now. Conroe Brewery receives a flood of threats and harassment after canceling Kyle event. It's been kind of a S-storm, Southern Star Brewery CEO Dave Fogerson said in a Saturday morning interview, but I'm now more certain than ever that I made the right decision. Oh, please. You don't get to beg for sympathy, too. Like, if you want to stand by your convictions and say, hey, we don't want to host Kyle because we think, the Second Amendment is a bad thing, and we think that the First Amendment is also a bad thing. And you put all 10 toes on the line and you host that and you say that. But they're out here running and they're begging for sympathy in these articles. It's pathetic. They probably did get pressure from distributors or, other local weirdos. But also it tells you about the ownership, in that pressure or not, ownership still caves. So they've been getting absolutely demolished on social media and almost certainly locally. And that's what you get. Maybe just host the event and then just don't say anything about it. See, they could have just hosted the event and said, whatever, we just rent out a room or whatever. We don't really ask them what they're hosting with it and just leave it at that. But it's just never good enough for them, is it? And so now they reap what they sow, and I'm absolutely here for it. Good luck, Southern Star Brewing Company. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it and you leave a comment down below. And if you haven't yet, please do subscribe. Definitely pushing hard in 2023 to hit 2 million. Won't be able to do it without you. And, of course, don't forget to check out this video's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. All I could ask is that you get through the tutorial, get to like level 5 or 6. Try it out. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But have a feeling you will. And it also helps the channel. So, it's Sunday. Give it a try. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.